G'day guys, Seeney here and welcome to another episode on the Australian Wealth channel. And in this episode, I'm going to be talking about how I managed to grow my net worth over $600,000 in 1 year. So thank you guys so much for watching. Please make sure you like and subscribe to the channel. It really helps to get these videos out to more people. So you might see that I've got a cowboy hat on today. That's because the stock market has just gone for a absolutely wild ride. But nevertheless, I just wanted to talk about this with people just so they can see kind of how you can grow your net worth at a really quick rate and some of the things that I've done that might potentially help you. So please make sure you like and subscribe. So there's a number of different vectors for me to grow my net worth. Now, obviously there's one of the main ones, which everyone knows about, which is your income. So this is obviously one that is somewhat important for me, but there's a number of other streams that I also have that help me to grow my net worth. So the first one I want to talk about was obviously income. I run my own business and we do a lot of video production around the country and we have great fun doing that. The business actually turned over about $250,000 this last year, which is a great number. Really happy with that, consistent with last year. And after expenses, it looks like my income is about $150,000. So that's one of the first things that's helped to grow my net worth is of course my income. But on top of that, there's a couple of other different growth vectors which I really wanted to talk about today. Now, the other one is of course the stock market. This year I've only had some small stock market gains because I've been buying a lot of those heavily beaten down stocks that have continued to be beaten down. All of those small caps that have been absolutely pumped. So this year my stock market portfolio hasn't really returned a huge amount, but it has been positive, which is great. That's return for the calendar year returned about $2.5 grand. So not a huge amount. It's not what you're going to be able to live off, but there is a third prong to this equation also. Now, one of the biggest drivers of my net worth growth this year is of course property. Now, if you've seen property prices around Australia for the last year, it's been absolutely insane. Property in Sydney has gone up over 25% in 1 year, which is insane. And Brisbane is up around the 30% mark. So it's been absolutely astronomical growth for property. And of course, I hold a property here in Sydney and I also hold a property up in Brisbane. So thankfully, we've been able to enjoy that ride of property growth because it's been absolutely insane and it's definitely been one of the biggest drivers of my net worth. So this house here in Sydney is worth roughly around $1.2 million now, which is absolutely insane, considering it was not that when we bought it a few years ago. So over the course of this year, this property has appreciated roughly $300,000, which is a huge amount in 1 year. But of course, that's just the way that property has gone. You have cycles where things go up, you have cycles where things go down. And thankfully, we've been on the up for this particular cycle, which is great. So we not only have this property, but we also have the property in Brisbane, which is up $150,000 in the space of 1 year. So these two things have been a massive driver of the growth of my net worth over the last year. So if there's one thing I could say to people is that property is such an incredible tool I've found personally for growing my net worth. There's a lot of different ways you can do it, but property has been one that I have really enjoyed doing, and it's been absolutely remarkable, the results that we've been able to achieve, being able to leverage a real asset, which I think is very important. So if we combine all of these things together, if we look at the property, which is appreciated here in Sydney, 300,000, plus the one in Brisbane, that's 450,000, plus my income, which pumps it up to just over 600,000 with stocks, my net worth has actually appreciated over $600,000 this year, which is a huge amount in such a small space of time. But it feels like I should be saying thank yous to people. I just wanted to give a big shout out to the Australian real estate market for a lot of this growth. So of course we're continuing to buy. The market always goes through cycles. It's not always going to be this crazy. And I'm very used to this with property, but especially with stocks. The market goes up, the market goes down. You can never really time what is going to happen with the market, but you just need to be investing constantly. So when there is a big boom in the market, like we have seen over this last 12, 24 months since the pandemic started, you are there and you're ready to take advantage of that. Of course, there's going to be up cycles, there's going to be down cycles, but I just continue to invest. And of course, that has been quite lucrative so far. We have 2 more properties under contract, so hopefully they're going to continue to perform well. I think Sydney and Melbourne are going to start to top out. I don't think there's going to be too much more growth there for a little bit, but we are buying in smaller capital cities such as Brisbane and Adelaide, which I personally think are going to continue to run. So we'll just have to wait and see what happens. So I guess the takeaway from this video is, remember, it's not only your income that's going to drive your net worth growth, but it's also the assets that you hold. And this is incredibly important. This is actually the first year where my assets have helped to grow my net worth faster than my income. In all of these years prior, it's been my income that's been the primary driver. But of course, as your asset base continues to grow, that's going to end up taking over. And that's actually what has happened this last year, especially in these extreme circumstances. And I anticipate going forward that this is actually how it's going to continue. There's only so much that you can work yourself unless you scale up a business with more people. But what your assets can do, especially if you start to accumulate more and you get that compound interest over time, it's absolutely phenomenal. So I guess the takeaway from this video is always be purchasing assets that are going to produce cash flow for you or are going to be appreciating in value. Those are probably the 2 most important takeaways, because without that, it's very hard to grow your wealth. So thank you guys so much for watching this video. Please make sure you like and subscribe to this channel. Really helps to get these videos out to more people. If you'd like to get yourself a free stock, I have a link to stake in the description. Deposit money in the brokerage and you'll get yourself a free stock, which is fantastic. And the way I track my net worth is through WeMoney. And I've got a link in the description also to WeMoney. They'll give you $5 just for signing up and connecting one of your accounts. It's the best tool I've found. It just updates automatically, which is fantastic. So thank you guys so much for watching. Please make sure you like and subscribe to this channel. Really helps to get these videos out to more people. So that's the one thing I would say, is just go out and pick up assets. So thank you guys for watching. We'll see you later.